You're listening to Into the Disappearing, a podcast where we explore the mysteries of those who vanish and the strange silence they leave behind. I'm your host, Marin Blake. Today we travel to southern New Mexico to the edge of the Chihuahuan Desert, where a quiet, thoughtful woman named Tessa Valdez checked out of the world she knew and into a silence that's lasted more than a year. Her disappearance wasn't dramatic. There were no screams, no headlines, no public plea from a distraught husband or panicked best friend. Tessa simply said she needed a break, and then she was gone. This is episode 13. The desert left her behind. Tessa Valdez was 33 when she disappeared. She worked as a reference librarian at Mesa Verde College, a small community campus in Las Cruces. She wasn't married, no children. Her closest family was her older brother, David, who lived about 80 minutes away in Hatch, New Mexico. Tessa wasn't flashy, but she was memorable. Coworkers said she had the kind of presence that made you feel calmer just by being near her. She wore oversized sweaters even in summer, kept lemon drops in a tiny tin, and organized her life with quiet precision. Here's her friend and fellow librarian Miriam Nash describing Tessa in a 2023 interview.
She always looked like she was halfway through solving a puzzle. That's how I remember her, fingers on her temple, thinking. Tessa was grounded. She wasn't the kind of person who didn't come back.
Tessa had been talking about getting away for a while. By February 2023, she told Miriam she was feeling overstimulated, overwhelmed. She wanted, in her words, an intentional stillness. On the evening of Thursday, June 1st, she booked a last-minute rental, a rustic off-grid cabin listed as Seclusion Ridge near Elephant Butte Lake, about 90 minutes north of Las Cruces. It didn't have Wi-Fi, but it did have solar power, a locked gate, and a view of the desert that stretched for miles. She told Miriam and David she'd be back Sunday evening. She planned to hike, sketch, maybe sleep in. She left behind her laptop, work ID, and most of her belongings. She only brought her overnight backpack, a canvas tote with a paperback, snacks, and a Grayfield sketchbook. On Friday, June 2nd, she texted David at 2:14 p.m. Made a gas stop, heading up soon. Should be offline for a bit, all is well. It's the last text she ever sent. Security cameras confirmed Tessa made it to Torres Gas and Mini Mart at 2:11 p.m. in Truth or Consequences. The footage shows her smiling faintly, hair pinned up, buying trail mix and a bottled soda. She wears her usual olive green jacket, her hair loose at the ends. She thanks the clerk, walks out, gets into her gray Subaru, and drives off. From there, things get hazy. She never arrived at Seclusion Ridge. The owner, Renee Weller, texted her around 5 p.m. to make sure she found the gate. The message was never delivered. By Sunday night, when Tessa failed to return home or check in, David assumed she just extended her stay. But by Monday morning, her phone still went straight to voicemail. At 10:13 a.m., David drove out toward the cabin himself. What he found was eerie in its simplicity. Tessa's car was parked neatly off a dirt service road just over 10 miles from the Airbnb. Facing southwest, nose toward a shallow, dry ravine. There were no signs of distress, no flat tires, no broken glass. The car was locked. Her canvas tote and sketchbook were gone, but her phone was tucked inside the glove box, powered off. Her keys and wallet were still in the driver's side door pocket. The area around the car had no visible tracks. No drag marks, no dropped items, no indication of direction. The desert floor was dry and hard-packed. Difficult terrain for even the best search dogs. Authorities arrived within 2 hours. A formal search began that afternoon. Drones were flown. Grid searches were launched. Helicopters scanned the canyons and the scrublands beyond. Rangers on ATVs searched nearby ravines and even old mine shafts. But nothing was ever found. Not her body. Not her bag. Not a shoe print. not a scrap of clothing. It was as if Tessa had stepped out of her car and into the wind.
She was right there. I mean, right there. It wasn't remote enough to get lost. She had water, shoes, snacks. She's not careless. She wouldn't wander far, but she didn't come back, and that doesn't make sense.
The search officially ended after 2 weeks. The case, still open, was reclassified as a non-criminal missing person. But there was one detail, one strange, fragile thread. 3 days after Tessa's disappearance, a couple camping near Point Loma Overlook, 15 miles northeast, reported hearing a woman's voice just after 3 a.m. They said it wasn't a scream. It was clearer than that. Hello? Just once. Then silence. Investigators followed up. They searched the area. Nothing was found. Over the past year, there have been 3 potential sightings of Tessa, one in Alamogordo, one in Flagstaff, and one from a truck driver passing through Hatch. None were confirmed. All were vague. All could have been coincidence. There's no evidence Tessa staged her disappearance. She left no note, no patterns, no purchases. Her bank accounts remain untouched. Even her apartment looked lived in. Plants watered, windows cracked to let air circulate, as if she expected to be back by Sunday night, and never was. So, what happened to Tessa Valdez? Did she meet someone out there? Someone she trusted? Did the solitude she sought become something else? Or did the desert itself swallow her whole, the way it does sometimes? Places like that, quiet places, don't always give back what they take. If you have any information about the disappearance of Tessa Valdez, contact the Sierra County Sheriff's Office. Even the smallest memory could help. Next week, we travel to a South Carolina marsh where a boy went missing during a community bonfire, and the strange pattern tied to the same patch of woods. Until then, I'm Marin Blake. Stay safe, stay grounded. And remember, some silences are never accidental.
When the night gets bright and the stars align, we stir up dreams in cosmic time. A little stardust, a little tune, you're mixing it with the moon.